Welcome back. All right, so yeah, I needed a whole nother board. We got a whole other video. We're going to talk about the trades that went down today. So I've talked about the draft picks and which ones might be seen as reaches later, which ones might end up being seen as overrated and they drop for good reason, that kind of thing. So today's action, there was one free agent signing that I see, which is a 2-year, $7 million in total deal for Marc-Andre Fleury to stay with the Minnesota Wild and not hit the market. So for fans who are looking for Fleury and thinking maybe if my team adds Fleury, no. Fleury, $3.5 million cap hit for Minnesota, so it'll be Fleury and Talbot as their tandem next year. That's not bad. That's a pretty good tandem, and so we'll see if Minnesota can have a team in front of them that keeps them in the playoffs. There's, of course, the cap issues that Minnesota's going to have this season. We'll see how it goes. Then, of course, there's the trade that I did the video on earlier. Alex DeBrincat, now member of the Ottawa Senators, going the other way. A number 7 pick for Chicago, which became Kevin Korchinski. The number 39 pick, which we'll find out who it is pretty early tomorrow. And then a third-round pick in 2024. So far, Korchinski's the one name we can put on this trade. We'll see who gets added to it tomorrow. Alexander Georgiev, of course, now member of the Colorado Avalanche, going the other way. 2 of their very few draft picks they had. 97 and 161, so we'll see those ones early tomorrow. The Rangers also getting a third-round pick in 2023. So Colorado willing to move draft picks to pick up a goaltender because Kemper's hitting the market. Not a big deal there. Then the Islanders raised some eyebrows, picking up Alexander Romanov, a restricted free agent. So his signing rights going to the Islanders, along with a number 98 pick, which tells me that negotiations may not have been going well with Romanov. The number 13 pick going the other way to Montreal, they draft Frank Nazar. The number 13 pick that goes to Montreal then gets moved to Chicago in a deal where they pick up Kirby Dach. So it ends up being kind of a three-way trade. So that number 13 pick is traded to the Chicago Blackhawks along with the number 66 pick in exchange for Kirby Dach, who is also a restricted free agent. So signing rights being exchanged. Kirby Dach, I guess, not in the dollar range that Chicago wants him to be and what he's looking for. And so it'll be interesting to see, does Kirby Dach bounce back as a member of the Montreal Canadiens? I think he can. He's still young. He was one of my favorite players in Chicago 2 years ago. I do think he can get back. It'll be interesting to see who they pair him with in Montreal. Who do they put on the wings? How do they go through his development? But honestly, I do like the idea of Marty St. Louis coaching Kirby Dach. We saw last year in Montreal, one thing that St. Louis was able to do was get guys to their offensive peaks, right? And able to get the most out of them offensively. That's what we're going to be looking for from Dach. And a little bit more of that tough play, too. Romanov, it's a surprise to me Montreal moves on from him. I do like the pickup for the Islanders. This means that they now have Dobson and Romanov that they're trying to sign. But those are 2 pretty good young defensemen, right? So the Islanders, good blue line that they're putting together there. And then the Arizona Coyotes pick up the number 11 pick, which they used to draft Connor Geekie, going the other way to San Jose. 3 draft picks. So Arizona weaponizing their draft picks as expected. The number 27 pick, which San Jose used to draft Philip Bystead, seen as a bit of a reach, as I mentioned in the draft video I just did. The number 34 pick and the number 45 pick. So we'll see who they draft with those other 2 picks tomorrow. San Jose picking up draft picks is good. It's a good thing for San Jose. In that they didn't have to actually lose any players to do this. I guess they weren't going to draft Connor Geekie, or they saw something with Bystead they really liked, and then they get the extra 2 second-rounders on top of it. Now, Toronto, who fans, again, as I mentioned before, fans waited a long time for Toronto to pick, and then when it's their turn, they trade the pick. So the number 38 pick goes to Toronto. The number 25 pick goes to Chicago. They draft Sam Rinzel. And they pick up Peter Mrazek's contract. So that's $3.8 million of cap space the Toronto Maple Leafs just opened up. Now, if they use that trade for Matt Murray, yeah, but we'll see. But yeah, so they trade down 13 spots in what's considered a very all-over-the-place draft. So it's not really the end of the world, and they get $3.8 million in cap space. So I don't think Toronto made a bad move here at all. Now with Dubas talking about he believes Mrazek can have a bounce-back year, may very well have been talk that was trying to up his value, right, with other GMs. We did not see Puljujarvi get traded today. We did not see Tarasenko get traded today. There are players that have been rumored to be trades. There was no JT Miller trade. For all the discussions and for all the talk about that number 2 pick and what would it take and who's going to... Nope. Nothing. So that's why I don't do trade speculation. And then the number 32 pick is traded to the Edmonton Oilers. They use that for Reed Schaefer. Going the other way, Zach Kassian and his contract to free up some cap space for the Oilers. They want to keep Evander Kane. They're pretty far apart. Maybe trading Cassian's contract to Arizona will help. It's a little bit of a steep price they pay here. And that it's the number 29 pick where Arizona drafts Maverick Lamoureux. Also, they pick up a 2024 third round pick and a 2025 second round pick. So it's a steep price that Edmonton pays, honestly, in order to trade out Cassian's contract, unless you don't think a second and a third are a big deal, in which case, hey, pretty cool. But hey, again, they're trying to find a way to keep Evander Kane on the team. Maybe this will help, or at the very least, have some more cap space so they can go out and find that goaltender. Maybe Ville Husso on the market. There's discussions about whether or not Mike Smith goes on the LTIR to start the season. That'll free up $2.2 million in cap space. But the Oilers have a lot of work to do. So there you go. I wore Arizona for this because I think Arizona did well today. They pick up a number 11 pick. They pick up some extra draft picks after they traded a couple of extra picks they had to San Jose. So they're picking up future draft picks, trading away current draft picks. And I also thought they did well at the draft table. I thought they picked pretty well. So yeah, pretty big day overall. I don't get into the winners and losers. This is as close as it gets. I like what Chicago did. I like what Montreal did. I think picking Slafkovsky was likely the smart move in this draft, but it took a lot of guts to do that in front of the Montreal home crowd. And again, I like what Arizona did. I like Chicago, Montreal, and those are the three. So let me know who you thought did really well today at the draft table, who you were disappointed with, all that other fun stuff. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing right through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon, because in the morning we have another live stream, and I'll talk to you then.